Hello, YouTube universe. It's Graham again. Usually go by JaneCline92, and I work a lot with Pfeiffer over on Pfeiffer's Realism mod. And today I'm gonna go over what are hotspots. And I'm going to pull up FIFA Editor, and I'm going to use Arsenal as an example for this specific case, because they're ID number 1. It's easy to find. If you go to any of their jerseys, there will be a file in here that's called Hotspots. And what they do is they control some of the locations of different things that go on the jersey, the shorts, and the socks. What you'll see here is that you'll see a brand jersey, brand shorts, crest, and then crest shorts files. All of these are controlled by hotspots. Additionally, there are numbers, players, like number on the back, number on the front, player's name, the arc of the name, the tangent of the name, captain's armband. So those are just some of the things on here that hotspots control. And what they control is the position of where they appear on a shirt or shorts or socks. So I'm going to explain a little bit about what there is here. So every item here has an X, a Y, a Z, and a W vector. And a vector is just a position on a plane for any 3D object. And what it does is that there is a grid that goes from 0 to 1, and every one of these is a spot somewhere between 0 and 1 grid. And I'm going to show you how that looks like on the images of the shirts themselves. So I'm gonna swap over to Photoshop, or you can do this in any photo editing software. But what I've done is I've exported the goalkeeper kit for Arsenal, and I just opened it up in Photoshop to show you. In Photoshop, there's no numbers, there's no name, there's no brand or crest or anything on here. There's no, the armband's not on the arm, the armband's down here. So what the hotspots control is where on the shirt they show up. Now I've made myself the grid for the hotspots. I'm going to drop that onto here. There you go. So this is what the grid looks like if you were to use hotspots on. This is what it would look like inside the texture here. So starting from left to right, it starts at 0 and goes, starts at 0.0000, and then it goes all the way to 1. So the left of the square image is 0, and the right of the image is 1. And every vertical line here represents a point something. So 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, all the way to 0.9, and then this would be 1. Same thing goes for top to bottom, vertically. Every line that is horizontal on here represents, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, all the way down to 1 down at the bottom. So if we wanted to know what it looks like whenever you position some of the items on this shirt via hotspots and their locations, this is what I'm going. This is what we're going to get into. Is what would that look like? So this is the brand for the Arsenal's goalkeeper jersey, and I'm going to go to edit, transform, and then I'm just going to click on scale for now. But this will let me adjust the size of it. So before I do that, I'm going to show you a couple things to kind of explain myself here. So whenever I talked about what there's a X, a Y, a Z, and a W vector, that is the different edges of the image. And what I mean is, so here's the crest from the jersey. I'm going to select, sure, that's fine. So X is this side, okay? And that's the position along the x-axis where this, like, where is the position along the x-axis this line shows up on. The Y is up here. This line right here. Where does this show up on the vertical axis? That's the vector, that's the position on the vertical axis. Z is right here, this side right here, the position of it on the x-axis, and then W is this right here, and where it shows up on the vertical axis. So you can see here there's 1, 2, 3, 4 positions for this item, for this crest, and it represents each side of the image. So let's go back into Photoshop so that way we can resize this based on what vectors is in the hotspots. So first of all, I'm going to just shrink it down so it's more manageable, and ideally it's going to be somewhere in this area, because I mean, I'm wearing a jersey right now. If you look at the brand, it's on your right, like, chest area, so that's where this is going to be. So if I go into FIFA editor, I'm looking for the hotspots for the jersey brand. So this is jersey team. This is jersey number back, jersey number front, jersey name arc, jersey name arc tangent, jersey armband. Here's jersey brand. Here it is, number 7. So whenever all of these hotspots are rolled up, go to number 7. So the X bound or vector is 0.429. So in Photoshop, I'm going to adjust this to where 4.29 would be. So here's 0.4. So 0.4, right? It's right here. This black line. 0.41, 0.42, and then we're doing 0.429. So it's really close to 0.43. All right, and I know it's gonna look kind of weird. It's squished, but that's because we haven't gotten all the vectors in yet. So the next vector, this is Y, is 0.596. So I'm going to move this down to 0.596. So here's 0.5. That 0.5 is the middle line right here. And 0.59, so I gotta go to, so that's 0.51, 0.52, 0.59 is here, and since it's 0.956, or 0.596, said that backwards, I'm gonna move it close to the middle here, about right there is where 0.596 is. Alright, so now I'm going to go to the Z vector. It's 0.463. So here's Z. 0.463. So 463. So how I did that is 0.4 is here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is here. And then 3 is about right there. Okay. And then lastly is W, which is 0.634. So 0.6 is here. 3 is 1, 2, 3. And then 4 is about right there in the middle. So about right there. And that's where the brand is located. Now I'm going to do the same for the crest, and then I'm going to, so that's about, looks about right there. Oh, I need to approve it. It looks pretty good. Right, I mean that's where it is in the game right now. So let me do the crest, and then I'll talk a little bit more about how this is useful whenever you are making your own team or you're making your own kits, trying to adjust things. Like sometimes the default FIFA numbers are not very realistic, so which is something I deal with all the time, where the number is on the left leg instead of the right leg or whatever, or the number on the back is too small. It's just because EA doesn't make the numbers exactly right sometimes, and so I'll go through and try and fix all the ones that are not exactly right. So let's do the crest really quick, and then we can get into more of that. So I'm going to go to edit transform. Gonna make this a little bit smaller and more manageable. Move it over to the left chest. Zoom in so we can see the numbers a little bit better. And then I'm going to go to the FIFA editor and find jersey team. They call the crest team in the hotspots. So it's number 0, just for your reference. And the first vector is 0.549. So I'm going to go to 0.5. So this is 5 right here. 4 would be the fourth one over. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 0.549 is about really close. Like right there. Okay. So the next one is 0.590 for the Y. Well, I'm going to go to 0.590, which is right there. Okay. Now I'm going to do 0.589. So 5, 8, it's right here. 9 would be really close to, so really close to that, right there. And then W, which is the bottom, is 631. So 631. So, oh, I'm sorry, that's 2. 3 is right here. 6, 1, 2, 3, 1. Yep, right there. All right. So that's the brand and the crest now on the jersey, using default FIFA values. So if I turn off the grid, that's what it looks like. So usually, like, say if you're using FIFA Kit Creator, they will give you blank brand and blank crest, because you the person that's making the kit will already have these things on it, and already in a default position. That's just because FIFA Kit Creator just does that for you. But if you are making your own kit and you want to know or adjust things, the hotspots, to be in slightly different spots, you could use the grid here. Now, like I was saying earlier, it's really helpful like if you're trying to fix the locations of things. So for this case, I've made a purple square that represents where the number on the back should show up. And I do this because sometimes, like I was saying earlier, the number might be too small or too big just because EA didn't really do enough research to figure out exactly where the number is. And what I do is I go on Google and search pictures of the jersey with the number on it and try and use patterns or like reference points to guess exactly where the number should show up. I also did the same for the name, and then also for national teams, they put numbers in the front. So I have that too. I made squares to represent all of those things. And in the hotspots, just for your reference, I'm going to minimize. Okay, so the number on the back, which is that purple square, is number 1, group 1. And these would be the vectors for it. So like 50, 58, 37, 41, and 20. So the difference is that it's turned around for whenever you're on the back. If you notice, so the X is 58. So 58 is over here. Yeah. And then wrong button. And then 41, so Z is actually over here. So this is 41. And that's just because imagine you're looking this way, right? As you just rotate it, the whole thing. So let's just image rotate 90. I'm sorry, I should have done one. Let's do one more 90. Okay. So now it makes more sense, right? So here's the X and here's the Z. It's just because we're upside down now because we're on the back, right? So it's still X is here, it's still the left side of the bounds, but it's 59 because of the grid, right? So I hope that solves some of the confusion whenever you're doing shirts. Now I'm gonna move over to shorts, and the way that the grid looks on the shorts is a little bit different. It's a little bit more squished. So let me pull up the grid for the shorts. Okay, so I've got the grid for the shorts on here, and as you could see, the grid is a little bit squished vertically, and that's because shorts is not perfectly square. It's more of a rectangle. I mean, it's a exaggerated rectangle even. It's not just like barely a rectangle. I mean, it's a straight up rectangle. So all of the hotspots that are going to go on these is going to be squished vertically. They're going to be a little short and fat, just because of the way that the grid appears and the way the grid works on the graphic here. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to hide the crest for now, and I'm going to do the hotspots for the brand, and it'll kind of explain what I mean so that way you can see it looks how it's kind of squished. So the brand for the Premier League, I think, is on the bottom left. See if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it's on the bottom left. So I'm gonna minimize these and try and find the shorts hotspots. All right, shorts team, shorts number, shorts brand. Okay. So shorts brand, the X is 605. 605. So like about halfway, yeah, about right there. And then Y is 843. So here's 8. Ooh, I need to move this down. So 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, about right here. Z is 651. So 651 is about right there. And then the W is 91.6. So 9, 1. Oh, I almost had it already. 916. Alright, so let me zoom out, and I'm gonna just remove the grid, or I gotta prove that first. See how the brand's kind of squished a little? It's just because that's just how it's a rectangle, and the texture is kind of, the whole texture squished a little. So let me do the crest, and it'll be a little bit more exaggerated whenever I do the hotspots for the brand here. Let's go to edit transform scale. Okay. Edit transform scale the brand. There we go. Move it over here. Be close. But you see how it's still perfect, it's perfectly square, it's not a rectangle yet. So we have to use the hotspots. The brand for, or the crest for the shorts is number 9. So shorts team number 9. So the X value is 347. So let's go zoom out a little. So here's 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is right here. So let's just move the whole thing over. 347. So a little bit closer to about right there then. Alright. 831. So here's 8. 1, 2, 3. Just past the third number. Or third line. Sorry. Alright. 390. So 390 is right on the line there. Alright. Man, that was a pretty good guess right there. 896. So here's 8, 9 is the last line there. 6 would be just about right there. Alright. Now I'm going to prove that and remove the grid. Alright, so now you could really tell the crest is kind of squished. So I use this for trying to fix the locations of the numbers. Again, sometimes the numbers may appear kind of too big or too small, or they don't fit the brand exactly right. So especially with custom shorts or shirts or whatever, so I would always just make a square like I did, like how I did over here with the purple. Just make a square and try and line it up exactly where you want it. And I use references from pictures and photos to try and get it exactly right. Sometimes it gets it wrong completely, and the number should be on the other side of the other leg. So instead of it being over here, it needs to be moved over here. Or sometimes the brand and the crest need to be flipped. So I go through and try and figure out, alright, what's the real positioning of all these things? And that's hotspots, really. It's just vectors, positions of the crest of the or of other images that go on top of here. And the reason why they use hotspots are, and not just have the reason why this is what it looks like as the shorts texture is because whenever you do put the crest on here, it's not as crisp and clear if you put it on the texture itself. And what I mean is that if it's on here, the pixel size of the crest and the pixel size of the brand is going to be way smaller than the 256 by 256, which is what it uses. So let me explain. See how this image size is 256 by 256. If I open up the shorts texture, it's 1024 by 512. If you were to put this crest on these shorts where it's supposed to be and how it's kind of like squished, those textures, the pixel sizes is going to be so small, so whenever you go in game, the crest is going to look blurry. It's not going to be very crisp and clean. So that's the reason why they use hotspots. They use the internal game engine to tell it to resize the image onto this image, because that way it will be not distorted and not pixelated. So yeah, that's hotspots. So I just want to say thanks again for joining. Subscribe to see more videos like this. I just go over different things in FIFA and tutorials on how to mod FIFA. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.